Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Courtney and welcome to my pathetic front porch. Today I am going to be working on some DIYs to hopefully give this a little bit more curb appeal. With a few supplies from the hardware store and a little help from my Cricut, I think I can turn this porch around. Thank you to Cricut for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get into this and see what I can do. For the first project, I wanted to make a 3D sign that I could hang on this black post. I've had this post for a very long time. I actually made it before I started my YouTube channel, so I don't have a tutorial, but if you'd like to see one, let me know down in the comments. So for the base of this sign, I'm actually going to be using one of these banners that I picked up from the Target dollar spot quite a while ago. It was a banner that said home, and each of the little pieces is on a, I guess, kind of shiplap looking piece. And so I'm going to grab 6 of those for my sign. Then I'm going to take them outside and I'm just going to go ahead, I opted to go ahead and just spray paint them white instead of doing several coats of white chalk paint to cover up the letters. Now I was ready to go ahead and make the 3D element, which was popsicles. So I found an image in Design Space and I went ahead and just ungrouped it all and pulled all the pieces off, deleted the pieces I didn't need so that I would end up with the, I guess, this cream colored popsicle. Once I did that, I went ahead and sized it down and I wanted to cut out letters inside of the popsicle that spelled out the word summer. So once I had all those down, I went ahead and added my letters just by placing them on top of each of the popsicles, and I highlighted them, got them all aligned, and then to get the letter cut out inside of the popsicle stick, you're just going to highlight the whole thing, and then in the bottom right corner, you're going to hit slice and then pull out the pieces you don't want, and then that would leave me with the popsicle stick that I wanted, which was having the letters cut out of each of the popsicles. Now to cut out my popsicles, I am going to be using my Cricut Maker, and I'm going to be using 2mm chipboard. This is from Cricut, and I'm going to set it down on my strong grip mat. Now, once you get the chipboard down, you still have to secure this down to the mat. So just take some painter's tape and go along all of the edges and secure it down really, really well. Then when you go to load it into the machine, you just have to make sure that you move all the little white rings in there that help feed it through. You want to push those all the way to the side so that this will roll through nicely and cut. You're also going to want to change the blade and use the deep cut blade, and then you're ready to go. Now it's going to take several passes to get it done, and it will take a little bit of time, but in the end you're going to end up with some really cute popsicles. Now that the popsicles are all punched out, I'm ready to paint, and I went ahead and decided just to go good old rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. I am going to be using my Arteza acrylic outdoor paint because it has a built-in sealer, so after you paint it, just let it sit for 72 hours and it's sealed. So that's a really nice thing about these. So I'm going to end up doing about 3 coats just to make sure they're good and sealed. Once they are dry, I'm going to go in with a marker to do some highlights. Now I did have a few little oopsies when I was painting, so on the oopsies I made, as you can tell, this yellow one, whoopsie doopsie. I went ahead and made it a drippy popsicle, and then I added a couple others just to make it, I don't know, flow better. And then just using that white Sharpie marker, I'm just going to go in and add some little highlights and details to finish off the popsicles. Now it's time to grab the white boards and put my popsicles down on top of it. Now, because this is going outside and I live in Texas and it is really hot, I'm not going to be using hot glue to attach these. I am going to be using the Gorilla Clear Grip glue that I really like, and I'm just going to put some glue on there and then go ahead and put a paint can on there just to weight it down and then let it set up overnight. I grabbed some 10mm wooden beads and just went ahead and started stringing them on a piece of twine. This was just a time-saving thing. I'm going to be kind of working in pairs as I attach the different boards together, but this was just, I felt like, an easier way to do it. So once I got a bunch of beads on there, I went ahead and made a little handle for the top, and I had 4 beads up at the top so that 2 beads could kind of go on each side there next to the little hole. And then to secure it, I just took the tail of the twine and just wrapped it underneath the wooden bead and then pulled it to the back and then secured it on the back with some hot glue as well as some Gorilla Glue, because again, this is going outside and I don't want it to melt and to fall apart. Then to connect each of these pieces together, I'm just doing the same thing. I'm stringing it through the hole, and then a piece of the twine will go up to the piece above it. I'll secure it with the glue and then secure it down past the beads, and I'm just going to keep doing that until all of the pieces are attached. Now the back is looking a little rough, so I would recommend go ahead, if you'd like to have a nice finished back, which I usually typically do, go in and just paint the whole thing white, including the twine, and it'll have a nice seamless back. And then there you go, you've got yourself a 3D fun, colorful summer sign. Now, when I think about porches, I think about wreaths, and what I really like to do is just have a couple of plain green wreaths that I can tie signs to and then take them off so that I can continue to use that wreath over and over again. Plus, it saves on storage space not having to have a different wreath for every single season. So I grabbed this metal mason jar from Dollar Tree, and I thought, you know what, a quick and easy way to dress up my green wreath is just to cut out a decal. It says Summer, Sweet Summer. I'm going to go ahead and just put that down on top of my mason jar. Then I just took some ribbon and tied it around the top and added a little wooden pineapple from Dollar Tree. And then the simple part about this is I just tied it directly onto my wreath, and that's it. It's done. If I want to use this wreath somewhere else, I simply just untie it and it's good to go. Quick and easy way to dress up your decor without having to make a bazillion million wreaths. For this next DIY, I'm gonna, I guess, simplify my no soliciting sign. I've had this one for forever and it works really well, but I also have a friend who really wants it, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna make a more simplified one, to the point, not so many words, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start with one of these wooden planks from Dollar Tree, and I'm gonna give it a coat of the brown cream wax that I love to use. I'm gonna set it aside to dry. Then I just made a very simple little decal in Design Space. No soliciting, don't make it weird, the end. And I'm going to cut it out very quickly on my Cricut Joy. Once that's all cut out and weeded, I'm just going to simply go ahead and apply it to my wood piece. And then using my Dremel, I'm going to just go ahead and drill 2 little holes so that I can make a hanger for it. And then I'm going to attach some twine, and that's it. This sign is completely finished. I'm going to hang it on the inside of the window, so that's why I did not seal it or anything like that. But there you go, a very simple sign, and I'm telling you, it works. For these next 2 projects, you're gonna need to go to the hardware store and get some wood. Now, I know you're thinking, oh my gosh, wood is so expensive, but I made both of these lanterns, huge lanterns, I should say, for less than $25. And the way you can save money is go find the unfinished wooden balusters. They have a couple different designs. I just picked out 2, and they are a couple dollars each, no big deal, and it really will save you some money. And then, of course, I picked up 2 toppers that go on the top of a banister to finish off my lanterns. So you'll need 4 balusters for each lantern, as well as a 2x10 for the base, a piece of 2x10 for the top, and then I went ahead and also did a piece of the 2x8. Now, if you don't have the scrap wood, like I had all the 2x in my garage, check the scrap pile at Home Depot. It will be your friend. It's always free. You can go dig through that bucket. It's usually right by where their cutting machine is, where their saws are. So definitely check that out to get some free wood. Now, to get these balusters attached, originally I was just going to use my nail gun and push it through, but it wasn't very sturdy. So the best way to do this is to go ahead and mark where you need your balusters to go, and then go ahead and just take a screw and screw it in from the bottom. Now I'm ready to work on the tops of my lanterns, and as you can see, the nail gun just was really a struggle. So definitely just screw those balusters in. For the top, you're going to want to use some wood glue as well as a nail gun if you have it. If not, you can use screws just the same and screw in from the bottom. I'm going to take some wood glue and go ahead, and I had a little crack on this piece of wood, so I do repair that, and then glue this piece down. Now, Mr. Cheap did take out the very top piece, which was the 2x8, and drill a hole all the way through. That's so we could just screw in that little topper that I bought to make it easy, but you don't have to do it that way. If you don't have a drill or you don't want to screw in a hole, you can take the screw that's already in the topper and just take it out and just directly wood glue that to the top. So once I get this first wood glued together, I'm just going to take my nail gun and go ahead and attach them together. For the tops of the lanterns, we just nailed it in with the nail gun, but you could use a screw as well, and then just use a little wood filler. And then I took some vintage teal spray paint, and I ended up giving each of my lanterns 3 good coats of the spray paint. Now, if you're going to put these outside, I do recommend you going ahead and spraying these with some type of sealer. I did pick up a clear sealer, but I haven't quite done that step yet, but I am planning to do it. And then you're going to want to take a hook that you screw into the bottom so that you can hang whatever hanging plants you want up there. And then you're ready to go ahead and put them on your porch. This hardware project, we're using some wood again, and I'm going to be using 4 pieces of 1x4. I'm going to be making a wall planter, and the reason I picked 4 boards is because I'm going to put 1 digit of my address on each board. So the length is up to you. How wide you make it is up to you. I'm going to use a 1x6 to put at the bottom of the planter that's going to be attached off my 4 boards. I've got some 1x4s for the sides as well as some trim to make the front of my planter box. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of lay this out so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. This piece of trim is going to go up at the top. I'm going to end up wood gluing that down as well as nailing it in. Then the 1x6 will be attached to the bottom of the 4 boards. I have those 2 pieces of 1x4 that are going to make the sides that I will also attach. And then, of course, again, like I said, the trim is just going to go across the front. And to assemble this whole thing, I just used wood glue and my nail gun. You could use screws if you want to. You could use hammer and nails. It's up to you. Whatever you have to use will work just great. Now that the box is all assembled, I wanted to leave it a natural color, so I just took some of this Hellsman clear semi-gloss poly, and I just did 2 good coats over the planter box. And once that was dry, I was ready to go ahead and plant my flowers. So I just picked up a couple of things from the hardware store and went ahead and just planted those in there. And then my last steps here was I did go ahead and add 2 little hangers to the back. I just screwed those in directly. And then I also added some digits. Now, just for privacy reasons, I'm just temporarily tacking up 3 digits because I don't necessarily want to give out my actual street address, but those can be attached. I just picked these up also at the hardware store, easy to go, and then you just hang it up where you want it, and it's all finished. And there you have it, several things you can do to make your porch a little bit of a nicer and welcoming place. Sign, a new doormat, a wreath on the door, a planter box, plants, and of course, don't forget the no soliciting sign. Let me know down below which one of these DIYs was your favorite. Also, let me know what is your favorite porch decor that you have on your porch. What is the favorite thing you love to put on your porch? Thanks so much for joining in today. I really, really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.